The name's Bond. James Bond.
Well, it looks like we have reached the end of the line. It's time to find out what I chose as my favorite James Bond movie. But first, let's recap the previous four. Number 5, Live and Let Die. Number 4, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Number 3, GoldenEye. Number 2, From Russia with Love. And now, it's time for number 1. November 17th, 2006, the day Daniel Craig would silence his critics. I remember it like it was yesterday, when he was announced to assume the role of James Bond from Pierce Brosnan. It sent a shockwave through the fan base. Die-hard fans were enraged, and they definitely let their feelings be known. Fans protested at the thought of Pierce Brosnan being replaced. Petitions were created, and some fans even went as far as to threaten MGM, saying that they would have the movie boycotted. The one thing I especially remember was the website that was created called craignotbond.com. It encouraged people to sign a petition and listed many reasons why Daniel Craig being chosen to play Bond was a big mistake. These angry fans even stooped as low as to make photos of Craig comparing him to the character Gollum from Lord of the Rings series. They made fun of his physical features, citing that he did not fit the physical appearance of James Bond. Last of all, they stated that they didn't want a nobody playing their beloved secret agent. I will admit that I was a little disappointed when I had read the news that Brosnan would not be playing Bond anymore. But I didn't freak out like a lot of people did. I wanted to give Daniel Craig a chance despite all the negativity surrounding him. I was ashamed of how far people went to try and take him out of the role. Then there was the day the teaser trailer was released. People could finally get a taste of how Craig looked as Bond. I must say, I was blown away by the teaser trailer. I was sold on Daniel Craig being the next James Bond. It's probably no surprise to most of you that Casino Royale scores the number 1 spot as my favorite James Bond film. Going through the last 4 and not seeing this must have made you think it was coming, and here it is. It was hard for me to put this movie past some of the true classics of the series, but at the end of the day, I felt Casino Royale truly deserved the number 1 spot. There are just so many reasons why this movie stands out at the top of the mountain for me. I felt the story and the characters were very well developed. I had read the original book by Ian Fleming a few years before the movie was announced, so I had plenty of expectations going into it. Of course, they modernized the series for the big screen once again, so the movie was going to be different from the book right away. But what really impressed me is that they took the major plot points and climaxes from the book and used them in ways that didn't disrespect the source material. The poker game with Le Chiffre, the kidnapping of Vesper, the major car wreck, the brutal torture scene with Bond and Le Chiffre, and not to forget the great love story between Bond and Vesper. It's definitely one of the high points of the movie for me. It was a love story that felt very realistic and strayed away from the typical cheesy Bond girl encounters. Simply put, Casino Royale is more dark, gritty, and realistic when compared to the previous films. Some of my favorite scenes include the black and white intro showing Bond earned his 00 status and License to Kill, along with the amazing gun barrel sequence, which leads into You Know My Name by Chris Cornell. Definitely my favorite Bond song. The parkour chase through the construction site still blows my mind to this day. The ending leaves you with a smile on your face and a desire for more Bond. Casino Royale is an example of the direction Bond needed to go in after the underwhelming Die Another Day. It features all the qualities that have made the character a household name for all these years, and it's done to perfection. To me, Daniel Craig is the definitive James Bond. I thank you all for tuning in for my Bond 50 celebration. I hope you enjoyed these videos as much as I enjoyed putting them together. It was great to go back and revisit the movies and pick out my absolute favorites. Now it's time to go enjoy Skyfall. Have fun at the movies.